ballroom of the Bennett Grand Hotel in Manhattan shimmered beneath crystal chandeliers as New York's wealthiest executives, investors, and media personalities gathered for the annual shareholders' gala. Every conversation revolved around billion-dollar mergers, market forecasts, and the future of Bennett Industries. At the center of it all stood Charlotte Bennett, the company's brilliant young CEO, confident, intelligent, and respected throughout the business world. Charlotte had spent years proving she deserved her position instead of simply inheriting it. Reporters surrounded her, eager to capture every word she spoke about innovation and leadership. Yet despite the glamorous evening, Charlotte's thoughts remained focused on someone waiting outside. The spotlight near the entrance stood Ethan Brooks, dressed in a simple navy suit that had clearly been tailored years earlier. Beside him was his cheerful 8-year-old son Noah, proudly wearing a tiny tie that matched his father's. Ethan felt slightly out of place among the luxury cars, designer gowns, and expensive watches, but he had accepted Charlotte's invitation because she wanted him to meet the people who mattered most in her life. Noah squeezed his father's hand and whispered, "Dad, don't be nervous. Miss Charlotte says you're the bravest man she knows." Ethan smiled softly and adjusted nose tie. "I'm not nervous, buddy. I just hope everyone likes us." Before Noah could answer, Charlotte walked toward them, with a warm smile that instantly erased Ethan's anxiety. She knelt to Noah's height and straightened his jacket. "You look like a young gentleman," she said. Noah grinned. "Dad picked the tie." Charlotte laughed before taking Ethan's hand. "Come on, it's time together." They entered the ballroom, drawing curious glances from nearly every guest. Some recognized Ethan from photographs Charlotte had quietly shared with close friends, while others wondered why the powerful CEO was holding hands with an ordinary-looking man. Whispers spread quickly through the room. A few executives exchanged doubtful expressions, assuming Ethan was simply another outsider attracted to the Bennett fortune. Standing near the stage was Richard Bennett, Charlotte's father and the company's founder. Years of building a business empire had made him respected and feared. In equal measure, as Charlotte approached with Ethan and Noah, Richard's welcoming smile slowly disappeared. "Charlotte," he said in a controlled voice. "Who are they?" Charlotte met his gaze without hesitation. "This is Ethan Brooks, and this is his son Noah." Richard looked Ethan up and down before extending a brief handshake. "What do you do for a living?" "Mr. Brooks, I manage a neighborhood community center and volunteer with youth programs," Ethan answered calmly. Several nearby executives exchanged amused smiles. Richard noticed every reaction. "A community center," he repeated, his tone growing colder. Ethan simply nodded. Richard turned toward Charlotte, disappointment filling his expression. "You're the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, and this is the man you've chosen." Charlotte didn't let go of Ethan's hand. Yes, the room fell silent as guests sensed a confrontation unfolding. Cameras quietly shifted toward the Bennett family, unaware that this single conversation would soon change all of their lives. Forever silence filled the ballroom, as every guest turned their attention toward Richard Bennett, his daughter. The cheerful atmosphere that had defined the evening disappeared. In an instant, even the musicians stopped playing. Sensing that something serious was unfolding, Charlotte remained calm beside Ethan, while Noah instinctively moved closer to his father, confused by the tension surrounding them. Richard stepped onto the stage and picked up the microphone that had been prepared for his annual address. Instead of beginning his speech about the company's success, he looked directly at Charlotte. "I built Bennett Industries from nothing," he said firmly. "Every dollar was earned through sacrifice, discipline, and smart decisions. I have always believed that the people representing this family should uphold those same standards." The audience listened in complete silence. Richard continued, "My daughter has chosen to build a relationship with a man who has neither business experience nor financial ambition, a man who, by every measure, cannot stand beside the leader of this company." Charlotte's face remained composed, though the words clearly hurt. Ethan lowered his eyes for a moment, but refused to respond. He had faced judgment before, and had learned that dignity often meant staying silent. Richard turned toward the board members seated in the front row. "As of today," he announced, "Charlotte Bennett is removed from every personal trust established under my authority. She will receive no inheritance from the Bennett family." Gasps echoed across the ballroom. Several executives exchanged shocked glances. Reporters quickly began recording every word. Richard wasn't finished. "If she wishes to throw away the future I've built because of an emotional decision, then she may also walk away from the wealth that comes with our family name." Charlotte slowly walked toward the stage, her heels echoing across the silent room. She accepted the microphone from her father without hesitation. "I never asked to inherit your fortune," she said calmly. "I worked for every achievement I've earned, and I became CEO because I proved myself, not because of my last name." She looked toward Ethan and Noah. "You see a poor single father? I see the kindest, strongest man I've ever known. He spends his days helping children, supporting families, and raising an incredible son. Those qualities matter more to me than any bank account." Noah looked up at Charlotte with admiration, while Ethan's eyes filled with emotion. Charlotte placed the microphone back on the stand. "If loving Ethan costs me every dollar attached to the Bennett name, then it's a price I'm willing to pay." Without another word, she reached for Ethan's hand. He looked at her quietly. "Are you sure?" he asked. Charlotte smiled with complete confidence. "I've never been more certain of anything." Together, they walked toward the ballroom doors with Noah between them. Guests silently stepped aside, watching the three leave behind unimaginable wealth without a single look back. None of them realized that Richard Bennett had just disowned the only person in the room who valued love over money, or that Ethan Brooks was hiding a truth capable of changing everything they believed about him.